Welcome. I appreciate you coming out and spending your Tuesday evening with us in the Magna Vista High School Band. And that was Flourish for Wind Band by Ray Vaughan Williams. He's kind of the old school composer of wind band music. Our next piece is Herndon Exaltation, which is written by kind of a figure that kind of took the mantle from composers like Williams and wrote a lot of music from the 80s, the 90s, all the way through until just a month or so ago when Robert W. Smith passed away. Robert Smith was a professor of mine at JMU and was hugely impactful on the world of band music by making music appealing, by creating music that made the students, it wasn't easy, but it played to their strengths, and it was appealing in a way which allowed us to kind of build programs throughout those decades. And he's going to be sorely missed. He's involved in the Drum Corps International. He was just very particular savvy with knowing what kids and where society is kind of leading musically. In his last few years, he was very instrumental in getting a popular music program kind of started. Not jazz band, marching bands playing popular music, but truly rock bands, things like that included in the school system, which may be a direction that different programs may be headed in the future. I think we'll always have bands, but Robert Smith was an icon and will be missed, and I doubt you'll ever be able to go to 2 concerts in a row without hearing something being played by a school band that Robert W. Smith wrote. This is Herndon Exaltations, written for a school up in Northern Virginia a few years back, and it's in that traditional overture style for band, fast, slow, fast, and we hope that you can appreciate the gift that Robert Smith left us through music like Herndon Exaltations. We'll give the percussion a second to kind of move around. Yeah, it's great to, we lost some of this sense of community and supporting activities like this during the last few years. And it's glad to see people getting out of the house and coming out again. So I know that's hard, believe me. I spend a lot of time on the couch sometimes. And so I appreciate you coming out and supporting these young people. We're in a community that is busy with lots and lots of things, and you have lots of ways that you can spend your time and energy. And I don't take it for granted that you've chosen to come out this evening and support these guys up on the stage. It's important, and it's what you remember from school. If I think back to my first grade classroom, I really can't remember that English lesson, not that English is important, or that math lesson. I do remember the kid that fell out of his chair backwards in class and lost his balance. Those are the things we sometimes remember. We remember those PTA programs, we remember those performances, we remember those times of being with friends and learning how to collaborate, communicate, and just simply get along. And man, I've just got a great group of students here that are learning if they don't already know what community is about. And sometimes good things happen when you have community, and I didn't bring these trophies out to say, hey, look, we won a bunch of trophies. But if you think about the amount of time and effort that it went and to put in the performances that garnered some of the hardware that you see down front, man, that's what it's all about. And it's about the process, and it's about encouraging one another. And while we're talking about that, man, we got a great school board member in Champ Hardy who's with us this evening. And I mean, I see him everywhere. So I appreciate him. I know his schedule is busy coming out and spending this evening with us, because that's what it takes, is a community of people supporting like Mr. Hardy, parents who are encouraging, and students who are willing to sacrifice their time and energy and effort to make things like this happen. This next piece is one of my favorite new composers of music. It's called Counterbalance. And this composer, Todd Stalter, writes things that are constantly moving. Sometimes it's very simple motives that he takes and develops, but he does it in a way that's exciting. Pieces usually have an exclamation point or something at the end of the title, just to add that extra little oomph that maybe the students need to kind of drive them for excellence. But this is called Counterbalance by Todd Stalter, and certainly hope you enjoy it. This is my 30th year teaching. When I started teaching, all I had to worry about was kids thinking that when they said this is bad, if it meant good or not. You know, sometimes they have double meanings, and keeping up with the lingo. And I'm kind of edging further and further away from actually being able to keep up with what's the new terminology. But this next piece gives me an opportunity to try and get back into the fold a little bit. But we're actually going to play a holiday tune for you. It's really clever. The composer has kind of combined sleigh ride. You'll hear elements of Jingle Bells. You'll hear Angels We've Heard on High. You'll hear We Wish You a Merry Christmas. You'll hear different elements kind of thrown into this thing, and it's in a funk kind of hip version of this. And so we moved Reagan Harrison back from saxophone. He's going to play a little drum set, and we've shifted some other people around. But it's really a clever tune. In the old days, we would call it cool. But now things don't do that. They slay. And so I'm going to try to do Skylar, let me know how I'm doing. You better slay. All right. You better slay. So, for those of you who don't understand what I just said or why it's a metaphor that we're using tonight, ask somebody that's like a foot or two shorter than you, and they'll tell you what it all means. But this is You Better Slay, and hope it'll get us in the season. Our next piece is called Not Alone. And it's lowercase, not. So we're kind of sneaking that in there, and the alone's in parentheses. And we find that a lot of folks these days, from students to age, that are up on stage here to adults, we never know what people are dealing with, and I hope that you'll find time to be kind during this season. But this piece is written by Randall Standridge, and it's part of a project. It's called the Unbroken Project. And so he's written music at different levels, from beginner band all the way up to very advanced. And sometimes they're built on some of the same thematic material, but it's all dealing with the stresses of mental health. And this piece in particular is written so that people realize that maybe what you see on social media isn't really how those folks are living their life. Okay, when you just see the good things that are happening, or sometimes the very bad things, it gives us a skewed version of how daily living happens. And so this piece kind of opened up some eyes. It's not that I'm a therapist or that I'm helping work through these kinds of issues, but I hope it gave the students a minute to reflect on what it means to be healthy mentally, and to take care of themselves, and to kind of encourage one another, and that no matter when things seem to be going good, there's always kind of a hint sometimes that there's something that's not quite right. And so this piece explores that musically. You're going to hear this gorgeous melody, and you'll hear the trombones, because it's always a trombone or a low brass kind of creeping in with a little bit of a sound that just kind of throws things off just a little bit. And you'll hear some spoken words during the piece. You'll hear lots of other effects that over top of these gorgeous melodies let you know that there's something that's not quite right. And at the end, with our soloists kind of bringing things back in, but yet not playing it by themselves like the piece starts, they have the support of those around them. And so that's kind of what school should be about, and building that community, but it's definitely what band is about, is creating a home, an environment where people can come and hopefully feel safe and feel like they're part of something that's bigger than themselves, and thus they're not alone. Come by the band room some morning. Hopefully you won't have to go through the metal detectors every time, but come through, and you'll see 15, 20 kids practicing in the band room. Sometimes they're just socializing, but this is a great space, and it's something we want to encourage. And thank you, boosters and parents who've all made that happen over this past season. It's been a very successful one, and we hope you can reflect and enjoy Randall Standridge's Not Alone. Yeah, thanks to all who came out, especially a few people, our administration who helped work the tables out here and who were so supportive of just, all of our band activities, just helping us get through each and every day here at Magna Vista. So thank you, Mr. Whitaker and everyone who makes Magna Vista. It's a great place to be and hang out. Thank David Sleva, our director at Laura Park Middle School, coming and helping out tonight, but just helping throughout the year. So thank you, Mr. Whitaker. Thank you to all the parents who support us throughout, not only just the rides, getting to and from, but look at the pictures. I hope you had a chance to scan the QR code. Usually you'll see the kids up here smiling, having a great time, and usually in the background there's going to be a Tony Collison or someone who's smiling, but maybe not quite as big as the kids, because they're working hard to make things happen, especially on these Saturdays and all that. So Brittany Short and Eva Eames and Dawn Lawson and Tabitha and Rocky Wall and Mike Tollison and all the Hopkins clan who comes out every weekend, and everybody that I just forgot to mention. This band could not do the things that it does without that kind of support and help. And when you work that hard, you deserve a break. And I hope that you sincerely have a chance to get one over the next few weeks as we celebrate the season. And I just wish you the most blessed of holidays, and I hope that 2024 is going to be the best ever. So we're going to close our concert with an old-time favorite. This is an arrangement of Christmas Festival by Leroy Anderson, and it's kind of, if you haven't heard the holiday tune that you like yet, it'll probably be in this medley here. Thanks again for coming out, and I hope you enjoy our closing piece.